George A. Smith was a Mormon apostle and member of the First Presidency of the LDS Church. He was also Mormon prophet Joseph Smith's first cousin. During a sermon in 1864, George Smith claimed that Thomas Marsh and his wife Elizabeth had left the church in far west Missouri because of a dispute Elizabeth had with Lucinda Harris over cow milk. This story has found its way into LDS folklore and used as a story lesson, with such messages as don't leave the church over a saucer of cream. Marsh's wife Elizabeth had made an agreement with Lucinda Harris to exchange milk from their cows to make cheese. Lucinda accused Elizabeth of keeping the cream strippings, the richer part of the milk, for herself. At the time, Joseph Smith was living with Lucinda Harris and her husband George Harris, and according to Sarah Pratt, Lucinda was in a polyandrous relationship with Smith. Joseph and the church leadership sided with Lucinda in the dispute about the cow's milk. However, the story of Thomas Marsh leaving the church is much more complicated and dark. Marsh was one of the original Mormon 12 apostles and the first president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. In 1838, he attended a meeting of the Danites, a Mormon group of vigilantes. In this meeting the topic was what to do with David Whitmer, John Whitmer, Oliver Cowdery and WW Phelps, or the dissenters, as they called them. These men had been instrumental in the bringing about of the Book of Mormon, and had been faithful followers of Joseph Smith. However, later on, they disagreed with Joseph Smith on doctrines, such as polygamy. The Danites wanted to kill the dissenters. Marsh argued against killing the dissenters, but to no avail, and following Sidney Rigdon's salt sermon against apostates, the dissenters fled the county within a week for fear of their lives. Shortly after, the Danites burnt the city of Gallatin, Missouri, and consecrated the stolen goods to Adam-ondi-Ammon, and put the goods in the bishop's storehouse. Thomas Marsh and Orson Hyde, both Mormon apostles, swore out affidavits against the church and the Danites for the burning and looting of Davis County, which said, "The disposition manifested in Joseph Smith and Sidney Rigdon to pillage, rob, plunder, assassinate and murder was never equaled in my estimation, unless by some desperate bandit." These events all happened in the fall of 1838, the same time as the disagreement between Elizabeth Marsh and Lucinda Harris about the cow's milk. But the focus put on the disagreement over the cow's milk makes the Marshes' departure from the church appear more trivial. Both Orson Hyde and Thomas Marsh later returned to the church. Hyde was disciplined and was reinstated into the Quorum of the 12 Apostles the following year. Marsh was excommunicated in 1839. He was rebaptized into the LDS Church in 1864, explaining that he had only been jealous of the prophet and felt a lot of anger. However, testimonies from both members and non-members at the time confirm Marsh's and Hyde's claim of the Danites looting and burning non-member farms in Missouri, such as Parley Pratt, William Law, Hawkins Taylor, John D. Lee, Anna Liza Young, and others.